The Clippers have themselves a narrow lead. They decided to make a statement in the opening half, and they did it by throwing down dunk after dunk after dunk. I think the rim is still shaky. The Trailblazers aren't down by too much at the half. And that deficit is a negative, of course, but I do see it positive. I really like how they move the ball, keeping each other involved offensively. They've got a nice flow to their game today.
Game track. Bench points.
This is a game where the bench guys deserve a bit of the spotlight. The thing is, you need a spotlight big enough for the reserves on both squads. This is a game that's been all about the depth in the depth chart.
Player of the half.
Paul George has already put together a pretty nice highlight reel for himself, and that's just after one half of basketball. He did a lot of scoring, and it probably won't stop anytime soon. We handpicked them for you. Here are the top plays.
Number 2. Number 1.
Thanks for joining us for the halftime report. The second half is about to get started.
It's LA Clippers ball. Here comes the screen. Jackson to Bledsoe. Reggie Jackson up against the Weber State product. Deep two there, won't go. Nice touch around the basket with the tip.
Hand down, man down. You got to get up and contest the shot.
Lillard to McCollum. Batum sizing up the all-star Lillard. To Reggie Jackson. Here comes the screen. Jackson. It's a big finish. We'll get a stoppage here. Timeout Portland as their coaching staff wants to talk things over here in this third quarter. Lillard to Nurkic. And scores.
Man, that may not have been a gimme, but that layup at the rim definitely chips away at the pride of the defense.
LA Clippers with the basketball to Nick Batum. Here comes the screen. Batum. And finishes strong.
And no emotion, just that ice-cold stare. That's a sign of somebody who's here to compete.
Lillard to Powell. The pass taken away by the Clippers. Bledsoe to Batum. Nick Batum, couple of free throws on the way. Hasn't missed yet. First one goes down. Can't connect on the second, and he splits the pair. Lillard. Bad pass there. Clippers have it. Batum to George. And the rebound taken in by the Trailblazers. McCollum into the front court. His guys down by 9. Beyond the arc for 3. And C.J. McCollum knocks down a wide open look.
Oh, okay. I don't see any more phantom screens like I did in the first half. I actually see people being hit, which opens up three-point shooters to operate off those screens. It's all coming together.
It's Portland ball. McCollum to Nurkic. Over to the right side. McCollum buries it on the catch and shoot.
And I just hear my high school coach preaching this thing to me every single day, and it's still pertinent for the NBA. It's all about spacing. And when you have guys who are lethal three-point shooters and they understand spacing, oh, that whole floor opens up, and that's a thing of beauty to watch.
To Lillard. Paul George sends it away. And that's going to be out of bounds off of Lillard. Jackson with it. Up by 3. To Bledsoe. Reggie Jackson guarded by Nurkic. Screen coming. Paul George. Perfect feed to set up the basket.
2 points. Take them any way you can get them.
Portland has the ball. Lillard to Covington. Sizing up the defense. C.J. McCollum smothering D.
And big-time coaching strategy by the staff right there, utilizing their bench, keeping fresh legs on that shooter consistently throughout the course of the game.
George guarded by McCollum. Yusuf Nurkic able to recover with the block. McCollum with the basketball. The deficit now up to 5. C.J. McCollum. He's 3 for 7.
I don't know what the point of you having a scouting report is if you don't utilize it. You're allowing him to get to positions on the floor where you know he feels most comfortable. Make it a challenge for him by making him do something uncomfortable.
They get it to George, down low. To Jackson. The Clippers with 4 to shoot. George gets a look, can't hit.
The contest was good, but you being a nuisance was great. Continue to be that gnat that no matter how many times you swing at it, it never goes away.
McCollum to Lillard. 4-3. Shot off the mark. Good defense.
Great contest by the D, but I want to see the coaching staff call the same exact play the next possession. Get that offensive player the ball. Let him prove that it wasn't the D. It was more in his own head.
Lillard to McCollum. Nothing going here on that drive. Covington to Lillard. Has a look. And he buries it on the step back. Jay, this move continues to evolve since the days of Allen Iverson.
It does so much, Ed. When you step back east or west while maintaining your dribble, look at all your options. Number 1, a hezi. You look at the rim. The defender jumps. You blow by him. Number 2, maybe a crossover in the same direction you just came from to throw the defender off. Or number 3, a raise into an easy jump shot. It's easy when you have this bag of tricks.
And when the game's on the line, that's arguably when it's most dangerous. Nothing going here on that drive. Screen coming. McCollum. Off the iron. No good.
And there's always so much talk about defense. How about offensively? If you continue to attack that shooter, now you're making him work on the defensive end. That makes him take his legs away on the offensive end.
To McCollum. Reset here. Let's see what they do. McCollum to Nurkic. And the Clippers with the rebound. Jackson with it. It's an 8-point lead. George to Nick Batum. LA with 4 to shoot. George cashes in. Someone has to get into a zip code. Jay, when you break down Paul George, where is he at his best?
He needs to be engaged. He needs to have the ball in his hands. He needs to be needed. And that's the biggest thing for Paul George. When he's the guy offensively and he makes those clutch shots, it re-engages him defensively. And that drives him to be the best version of Paul George there is.
Jackson to Paul George. Defense making the ball handler work. Jackson to George. From long range. Off the mark. No good. Lillard to McCollum. To Nurkic. Even to Zubats. Snatching it out of the air. That's his 3rd block this evening.
Blocking so many shots only gives your perimeter that much more confidence to really apply more pressure.
And he'll go to the foul line.
Great job, Ed, by the shooter to create contact after the jump. That's how you get to the free throw line.
Reggie Jackson at the line for 2 shots. He's perfect from the line so far. Off the mark on the first free throw. Knocks down the second after missing the first. Portland's got it. Here comes the screen. C.J. McCollum. He's 5 for 10, shooting 50%.
When the ball's in his hands, we all knew what was going to happen.
Jackson to Paul George. The drive right to the basket. He cruises in for 2. Too easy.
There's certain guys in this league that should be put on alert status 24/7 because either they're posterizing you or that attempt can still be a poster.
Jackson with it. The lead stands at 9. Paul George to Luke Kennard. George. Short jumper won't fall.
Hey, check up. Let's go.
To McCollum. Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a 3-point play.
Ed, you ever bail out of something at the last second? That's what I saw right there from the defender. We call that no man's land. They weren't really committed to getting out of the way, committing a hard foul, or taking the brunt of the contact.
Yusuf Nurkic at the line for a chance at a 3-point play. Numbers not in his favor, 61% for his career. And he misses that one free throw. Bledsoe. To George. Has a chance, unbothered by the defense as he drills it.
No doubt about where that one was headed.
Trailblazers take over. McCollum. take stock of the floor. He's looking for an opening. To McCollum. From the outside, no good.
That's how you do it. You keep riding him to the basket, and if the refs aren't calling it, keep being physical. Keep knocking him off balance.
Paul George to Luke Kennard. McCollum into the front court. His team down 9. The pass set it all up.
There's no better feeling after a game after you had 25+ assists and you won the game, and everybody recognizes that it's time for their bank accounts to get rewarded.
Short jumper off the mark. And he's fouled. Nice move that time, and he's going to the line for 2.
Smart play to rip through the extended arm of the defender. That will get you to the free throw line every time.
First free throw is good. Two for 2 on that trip. It's the Clippers with the possession now. George lets it fly, and the Blazers clear the rebound. Probing the defense. Count the basket. 2 more points in the paint.
That's what I'm talking about, Ed. It's that simple. Put the ball in the bucket.
George to Bledsoe. Shot from in close, no good. McCollum with the basketball. His guys down 3. Stuffs it down with authority.
And ISO basketball is becoming a thing of the past. Team basketball is back. And if you have that personnel with the versatility plus the mindset, game over.
Paul George to Luke Kennard. Larry Nance Jr. pins it.
This game is all about playing mind tricks on people. The offense is more worried about getting their shot blocked than they are about actually making the shot.
George can't go down. Smothering defense. Just inside the arc. At the buzzer. Count the basket. He's feeling good. Defense has to get him out of his comfort zone. That's the end of the period. The Clippers have the lead. It's the Blazers with the basketball as we start the 4th quarter. We've got a 1-possession game going on. This has the look of a race that's going down to the wire.
And it looked that way from the very beginning, but this is where the coaches and the best players on the floor really earn their money down the stretch. It's game time.
The pass taken away by the Clippers.
Tonight, it may not cost you, but in a playoff game, it will.
Missed it. Almost a foul. They let it go. McCollum into the front court. Down 3. Jumper's good.
And CJ is a guy that doesn't get the respect that he deserves on a nationwide level. 3 straight seasons averaging over 20 points per game. He's a guy that's automatically in range once he leaves the car entering the stadium.
With the fadeaway. Burns him for the basket.
You've heard it before. Slow and steady wins the race. This approach might be working out after all.
Trailblazers with the basketball. Lillard to McCollum. There's the three. Textbook defense.
Shooters shoot, period. I don't want to hear any excuses. That's why you're on the floor. You keep doing what you're doing with that superior confidence.
Count it.
Well, he finished strong because he was able to initiate the contact. When you initiate the contact first, you bounce off the defender, which balances you at the rim.
Jackson with it. His team up by 1. Here comes the screen. George, guarded by Nurkic. Oh, bad pass there. Blazers have it.
You go back to the principles, things that we started working on when we were in 1st and 2nd grade. It's called the shell drill. You stay down in the stance defensively, you try to deny the next pass away, and you have to communicate. If your conditioning is bad, you have no chance. But if you're able to do all these things together, collectively, you will be able to stop a great passing team.
Bledsoe, not a busy night, but effective. 2 for 2.
This type of game needs to be celebrated. This is the type of culture that is fostered when you play with unselfish players. When you give up a little bit of yourself and you make your teammate look great, that's the difference between winning and losing. So when you see these guys smiling, when you see them giving each other high fives, that's because of the energy that was created from the pass. Pass is one of the most brilliant things we have in this game.
Nice touch around the basket with the tip.
That's a strong finish. Regardless of contact, finishing strong is key.
Jackson to Paul George. Driving right to the basket. George to Reggie Jackson. Off the assist.
This type of game needs to be celebrated. This is the type of culture that is fostered when you play with unselfish players. When you give up a little bit of yourself and you make your teammate look great, that's the difference between winning and losing. So when you see these guys smiling, when you see them giving each other high fives, that's because of the energy that was created from the pass. Pass is one of the most brilliant things we have in this game.
Robert Covington rejects it. It's Portland ball.
You know why? I don't see anybody on the defensive end standing up out of position. I see everybody squatted down, really active with their hands. That's the mentality that will lead you to where you want to go.
C.J. McCollum has got 2 shots coming. Hasn't missed yet. Oops, he missed the first one. So he goes 1 for 2 from the line after hitting on the second. Paul George to Bledsoe. Yusuf Nurkic with the block.
That kid can block out the sun, man.
Portland has the ball. McCollum to Nurkic. Probing the defense. Nurkic. Shot won't go. Bledsoe with the basketball. 2-point advantage. George defended by McCollum. A pass stolen by Portland. McCollum shot off the mark. Nice follow-up on the dunk there.
Some players are so cerebral. I'm not even paying attention to the dunk as much as I'm paying attention to the player pointing and communicating to everybody his team needs to guard on the next play down the court.
George. Offensive board. Grabs his own miss and scores. Good concentration.
Look, there was barely any contact on that last play. I agree with the ref's no call. Let him play.
Paul George. Paul George! Huge block!
Don't stare him down like that afterwards.
Clippers have the basketball. Bledsoe to George. And the rebound comes down to Portland. McCollum with the basketball. Lead is 2. Down low, Nurkic. Scores from the post.
Well, we got a chance to firsthand watch something be created. I think we just watched an epidemic of passing. I've never seen something like this before. It was so contagious, everybody started to do it, and it ultimately led to the other team's demise.
If that's an epidemic, sign me up. To McCollum. Nurkic. Finish that. Bledsoe with it up top. His guys trail now by 4. To Paul George. The Clippers with 4 to shoot. Bledsoe. And he's fouled. Good play by the shooter.
You know what? That's an even better play by the defender. I like the foul there. Send a message. Nothing easy.
He's going to have to earn it now. And hits the first free throw. Second free throw off the mark. Still 1 to come. And he missed the free throw. 1 for 3 on that try. Portland's got it. To McCollum. Surveys the floor. McCollum. To Covington. Powell. Bad pass there. Clippers have it. To George. Nothing going here on that drive. Knocks it down from mid-range.
That might have been a little bit easier than expected there, considering the score.
McCollum to Powell. Work it down to Nurkic. Cleared by Ibaka. Bledsoe with the basketball. His guys now down by a point. George. To McCollum. Covington. Powell to McCollum. Doesn't get the bounce. It's LA Clippers ball. Bledsoe to Batum. Sizing up the defense. Batum to Paul George. LA with 4 to shoot. Paul George, 4-2. Shot's no good. You have to like the confidence, but that was a difficult shot.
It's easy. Force guys into low percentage shots. That's the reason why we're big into stats. It was all provided to you before the game in the scouting report.
McCollum to Nurkic. Knocked loose. Shot by Nurkic, no good. Bledsoe with it up top. His guys now trailing by a point. To Luke Kennard. And buries it. Jay, they'll take that any day. To Powell. McCollum. Here comes the screen. Portland has 4 to shoot. No good. No daylight. Great defense. Bledsoe to Nick Batum. A bad pass there. Blazers have it. Covington knocked loose. Clippers have it. Blazers have it. Robert Covington with the strong finish. Timeout called here by the Clippers. That's their first. Leaves them with one remaining the rest of the way.
You know, Ed, usually in timeouts, you see coaches give these rah-rah speeches. And what happens is it goes through the player's left ear and out the right. They don't pay attention. I've been a part of those huddles. What I just saw, though, I saw a coach snap a clipboard. No doubt about it, he has his team's attention.
Looks like both teams are making substitutions. Jackson to George. Serge Ibaka slams it down.
You know, from a point guard perspective, one of the things that I learned when I played in the league was that the more I was willing to give the ball up, the harder other players were willing to run to their spots. The harder the bigs were running to the rim. The harder the three-point shooters were running to the three-point line because they knew they could be active recipients. And when they caught the ball, they knew exactly what to do with it.
Deep two there, won't go. LA Clippers with the basketball. Kennard to Paul George. Takes stock of the floor. Paul George. The Clippers with 4 to shoot. George, it's good. And he's not done. He's going to the line for a chance at a 4-point play.
The defender cannot be caught with his hand staying in the cookie jar. What I mean, contesting that pocket. You have to keep that hand going in and out, going in and out. Keep the offensive player thinking about where your hands are at all times.
Paul George with a chance at a 4-point play. He's perfect from the line so far. Got it. Here comes the screen. Lillard to Covington. To Lillard. The Blazers with 4 in the shot clock. Damian Lillard and the finish. Jay, that was unguardable.
You see, the great playmakers see the shot before it ever happens. They recognized how they were being guarded on the previous set, and then they make the necessary adjustments.
A pass stolen by Portland.
Turnovers like that at this point of the game are daggers. You can't afford to have empty possessions in the final 2 minutes.
Bledsoe with the basketball. Leads 3. George guarded by McCollum. Defense making the ball carrier work. To Ibaka. Serge Ibaka. He's now 4 for 6.
I'm pretty sure I saw that move earlier in the game. I can't believe he fell for it again.
Now the Blazers will use a timeout, but this game's in the balance, and time is of the essence. Lillard to McCollum. Dame rises. Shot by Lillard, no good.
I love when I see a good contest. You're crowding the player's landing space, which naturally makes him worrisome about turning the ankle on that landing.
Paul George, a couple of free throws on the way. Hasn't missed yet. Nope, first one does not go. Off the mark, 0 for 2 at the line. Trying to slam it down, but it comes out. And now an intentional foul. So they'll send him to the line. 2 free throws here means it's a 3-possession game. Paul George at the line for 2 shots. Shooting 50%. Some yes, some no in this contest. First try at the line, no good. Good bounce back. Hits the second. It's a 1 of 2 trip. We'll get a stoppage here. Timeout Portland. They'll need a quick shot and then likely a quick foul in what is now a 2-possession game. Wide open look won't go. And an intentional foul here in the closing moments. But it shouldn't make too much of a difference in what is now a 2-score game.
Too close to call right now. We're in clock management mode. That was a good play.
First try, no good. Second one's good. Splits the pair. Long key from 3/4 court. It's the Clippers who come away with the victory as they take care of business at home. That'll wrap things up. For Jay Williams and our entire crew, I'm Ed Cohen. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports.
It's Jalen Rose, and it's time for the EA Sports post-game wrap-up. The Clippers emerged victorious after a tight finish. I could get into detail about their play calling and shot selection, but let's be honest. We all know that the dunks were the most exciting. I'd be surprised if the rim isn't a little bit bent at this point. The Trailblazers must be devastated after such a close loss.
Sure, it's great they shot so well from 3, but none of that really matters when your team has one more loss to show for it.
Here are the guys who put up the most points for the Portland Trailblazers.
Game track. 3-point shooting.
Each of these teams were solid with their long-range shooting. So by extension, they were pretty poor with their perimeter defense. Closing out on shooters must always happen, whether you're tired or not.
Player of the game.
Paul George.
Read the defense perfectly, and his teammates reaped the benefits with easy baskets.
These are the top 3 plays of the game.
Number 2. Number 1.
On behalf of Ed Cohen and Jay Williams, this is Jalen Rose signing off.